Hey, are you happy?
Okay, we all know that we're all here, and we're gonna let the goats out to free range forever and ever and ever. Right now. Hey, goats! Hey, goats! Hey, Roxy! Okay, the dogs are restrained. I guess all the excitement was too much for everybody. Now, release the goats. And nobody does anything. Come on, we worked so hard for you. Come on. Keep going, keep going. Yay! What do you guys think? So yummy, so yummy. They can go up near the orchard without any worries. Look at them all. Eating the grasses. Oh, it's so good. Don't you guys love being free? Of course they go straight for the green beans. We figured that they would, but probably not this fast. They went straight to them. Out of 30 acres of stuff we could eat, we picked the one thing that these people have planted and worked hard to harvest. Roxy's so mad. She's locked up. She's like, I like to be free range. I don't want to be locked up. Yes, please, eat this brush side hill down. It's really hard for us to mow because it's just a steep slope. So if you guys mow it for us, that would be great. He's just destroying that poor tree. And it tastes delicious, I know, because the goats love it, but he's not eating it. He's just rubbing his head on it. Poor Tessa. Too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing. Inhaling greens isn't usually the wisest thing. Literally inhaled her greens. You're being a good girl.
He barks, but he's like staying still.
Yeah, that's what happens when you attack Millie. She attacks you back. Might be hard to see, but this is the fence that makes all of this possible. It turns out that we've been keeping a secret from you all. We've been working on this project for a while. We would plan a little bit of it, then not do anything for a long time, then work on a tiny piece and not do anything for a long time. So from idea to physical finished reality was several months. And I figured it'd just be easy to tell you guys about it all now instead of dragging it out. We have an orchard fence, which is something we've known we would eventually need ever since we got an orchard, which was several years ago. Well, we actually didn't technically finish the fence yet. We still have a gate opening, which we temporarily blocked off with a cattle panel, and we have another gate opening over there that we're going to, or I guess it's a fence now that we're going to turn into a gate opening, and we still need to add a little bit over the back to prevent from deer, but it's goat proof now. And that's all that really matters. We're going to add more wire on top, like barbed wire, to help with deer. But goat proof is all we were going for, so we'll do the extra stuff later. So it begins way up in the woods, attached to our front privacy fence. So here's where the fence officially starts. And it attaches to the other fence. And then I'm going to walk along the route all the way down till it attaches to another fence, which divides our property from our neighbor's property. We have a herd of 7 Nigerian dwarf dairy goats, and we've had goats for several years. When we first began our herd with 2 does, our system of feeding and housing them was mainly picketing. But as we bought more does for more milk and we had lots of babies being born, we realized that picketing that many goats was too much of a hassle and not a sustainable way to house our growing goat herd long term. With 30 acres of woods and tall brush and pasture for our goats to forage on, we didn't want to waste all of that resource and just build a small pen and feed them just hay all of the year. We decided that, like our chickens were at the time, we would try free-ranging our goats. Now, this was before we had an orchard, so we did a few simple things, put little gates around a few small plants we didn't want them to eat, and let them free. And for a long while, they were just free-range goats, and they loved it, we loved it, it was really good. Then we got an orchard put in, and goats love to eat small trees, and we wanted these trees to be fruit-producing for us, so we stopped free-ranging our goats. I knew long term I wanted to get an orchard fence up eventually so we could free range the goats again, but for a long while we just had them in the barn, or we'd shuffle them back and forth from the barn to different enclosed yards we had. But as our herd kept changing and growing and we needed to separate different goats for different purposes, we started running out of space for them, even when we built a little outside pen that connects to the barn to make their barn space even bigger. But recently, the goat housing problem we had turned from a problem into a crisis. It's possible that the chickens had something to do with it, and the chicken poop especially. Our goats kept getting diarrhea, especially Tessa. She was having real bad issues with that. But their under eyelids were getting white even though we were deworming them regularly. And I was actually getting really nervous because goats can be very prone to parasites, and once they get them, they can die really easily. And that just scares me really, really bad. Especially because they are such big, valuable farm animals. Unlike one chicken out of 30 or 40 of your flock, if you lose one goat, that's like a half or a third of your entire milk production, plus all those awesome genetics, the work you've put into training them. So I'm more hesitant to just breed for hardiness as hard as I'm breeding for hardiness with other animals on our homestead like chickens and rabbits. Thankfully, as this problem was happening, we had both the monetary means and the time means and the labor means to put up this fence fairly quickly so we could free range our goats away from all that chicken poop, getting them away from the concentration of all their own poop as well. They're also now getting a huge variety in their diet when before they were just getting one type of alfalfa hay. Now they have access to hundreds of different varieties and species. They can forage for more medicinal plants and herbs. And this is just in addition to all the other benefits we love about free-ranging our goats. So now they're free-range, and my long-term dream of having them be able to be free all the time is realized. And this may even be a blessing disguised as a trial, because if this health crisis with the goats hadn't have happened, we probably wouldn't have this fence up, and they'd be suffering in their overcrowded, small, more temporary setups, rather than in this permanent, luscious, beautiful, green forage paradise.